Hello and welcome to Retrotainment Recast. I'm back here in the judge's seat after a hard-fought battle last week.
Where you belong.
No, not where I belong.
So cocky, Jesus.
No, we chatted to Carl Sherlock, who was meant to be judging, and he agrees that I should have won. But
he did not. He did not. He agreed on a draw.
It was a draw, he said, yeah.
That's a win. That's a win to the champ.
By default.
Doesn't matter. Default, two greatest words in the English language. But as it is, I am back here in the judging seat, and the two boys have been given Escape from New York to recast. So
lovely.
You know what? If you had said Escape from LA, I was gone. It was game over. I was relinquishing the title and I was leaving.
No, I didn't want to have to rewatch that myself. So Escape from New York's a good one to rewatch. How did you find it?
Yeah, not bad.
Right.
It's not bad. There's a lot of picks that kind of could be anybody.
I think so. Yeah.
I personally was never a huge fan of those films, but not I don't dislike them or anything. Just not.
The character's iconic in Snake. Obviously, he spawned Metal Gear Solid basically based off him, and countless other characters as well.
Yeah, the kind of forgotten action hero of the 80s a bit, isn't he?
Lost action hero.
Yeah, you could say.
Not to say that he was bad, but just when people think of 80s action, they just think of two names and they never really think of them.
Do you want to know what I think the problem is? I think Carpenter and Russell done so many good ones together. Obviously, they done Big Trouble in Little China, and you had Jack Burton. You had McGreedy from The Thing. Do you know what I mean? There's better than this character.
Yeah.
That he done himself.
Oh yeah, but I'm not just saying Snake specifically. I'm saying Kurt Russell at all as an action hero.
Sorry,
is kind of
forgotten. I thought you meant Snake.
Yeah.
No, Kurt Russell is like a forgotten 80s action hero because everyone just thinks of the two big ones, Arnie and Stallone. Like he's just kind of the third choice there,
Van Damme sort of came in late 80s.
I suppose he had real fighting chops on him, hadn't he? In fairness,
Who?
Van Damme.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even then, I'd still say Van Damme didn't hit the levels that the two boys hit.
Oh no. And I mean, in fairness, the original boys, Arnie and Sly, they had something to them.
Oh
For
yeah.
me, I never liked Van Damme. Never liked them.
I like the movies. I liked some of his movies growing up. I liked Bloodsport. I liked Time Cop. I liked Kickboxer and things. But I went back and watched Kickboxer midway through last year. It did not age well at all. Where a lot of Stallone and Arnie's films aged quite well, like Commando, Predator, and like even Raw Deal and Running Man and things like that. They aged quite well.
Yeah, you can rewatch them and enjoy them, whereas some of the other stuff, no, God no.
Yeah. But we'll get you two boys to send in your picks there first of all, just to make sure there's no cheating here.
No shenanigans.
So it's going to be a 7-7 draw, wasn't it?
7-7 draw.
That's what we agreed, wasn't it? Beforehand.
That's what I predicted last week. Yeah, 7-7 draw. Grant, I have them both in there now. As always, we'll start with the champion first. So, smallest character here. Is it Hawk?
Yeah, I would say so.
Because he's kind of on the outside of everything. Him or the president, I guess, are kind of the smallest ones.
Well, the only reason I wouldn't pick the president was because he was probably one of the bigger names in it.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, so we'll go.
Well, I suppose Lee Van Cleef was a big name as well. Actually, 'cause he was a Western star. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's I'm thinking character rather than So I think Hawk is probably the smallest character here. So
let's go.
Start with him again.
Yeah.
Right. This is one of them characters I said that could be anybody.
Yeah, it could. Yeah,
absolutely anybody. I had a couple of backups. I think it's the first time mentioned for Stephen Lang, who was obviously that Blind, the film, the break. The Blind Man's House. I think he's a very good actor, very underrated. Timothy Olyphant, obviously favorite on the show. And then I had another one. I think it's the first time Eric Roberts.
Okay.
Is making a re-emergence.
He definitely not the first. I've used Eric Roberts on something before. Yeah, definitely. I think I used them after rewatching Batman one of the times. I used them for something. So,
but I went with J.K. Simmons.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I recently rewatched Spider-Man, and obviously he plays Jameson.
Yeah.
Well, no, sorry, he doesn't play Jameson. He is
Jameson. Yeah.
He is a very good Jenna Jameson. Yeah.
And I could
Did you just say Jenna Jameson?
That's his name.
Jenna Jameson.
That's his name. Yeah.
J. Jenna James.
But he's very good, and Lee Van Cleef and him kind of have that similar skinny kind of look.
Yeah.
Not that the look means that, but so that's where I went.
Yeah, no, it's good. Solid pick. King, who have you got?
I had one backup in Bryan Cranston, and I went. I said, "Fuck, I'm gonna give this a shot. See what happens." Kurt Russell.
He's retired
again.
Fucking stop.
You got stung with this a while ago. Kurt Russell is retired.
Fuck. Can I just say Bryan Cranston then?
You can if you want, but neither one of them are better than J.K. Simmons. I don't think.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
I had a couple of people there. Ed Harris was one, maybe a little bit too old, but I settled on another favorite of the show in Will Patton. I think Will Patton would have been a really solid one there.
I've kind of fallen away from using Will Patton because I haven't been able to get him into anything.
Yeah, I know, but I think he would have fit in really well there. Do you know, he's kind of, because he always does play a bit of an arsehole. Well, like not always, but in a lot of things he plays a bit of an arsehole, but also kind of, you know, the good guy at the same time. So I think he could have fit into that very, very well there.
I maybe see him as a good guy and things, you know.
He is, but he plays a dickhead.
Yeah.
Like even when you look at him in Armageddon, he's funny. He's the good guy, but he's a dickhead about it.
Oh yeah, he's a good guy, but he's always a bit of an arsehole. Like, you know, you're never certain if he's going to double cross you or not. Even in
Halloween.
Yeah, you're never certain. Is he going to double cross? Like, you know, even like when they bring up the whole thing in Halloween of like, oh, I could have shot him, and you're like, is he going to be a double crosser here? Oh, lads. No, I think he would have worked well there, but no, J.K. Simmons is a good one. So we'll go one up to the champ there.
Simmons.
I can't argue with that. I like J.K. Simmons and that, so
yeah,
he's gas, isn't he?
Yeah,
I'll tell you what, lads. Have you seen him now?
He's jacked.
He's starring The Rock's. I think it's 7 something productions are doing a Santi movie, and he's playing Santi, and he is shredded.
Yeah, he is.
Do you know what? Wouldn't he be a deadly comic accurate version of Vulture?
I liked Keaton's Vulture.
So do I. I'm just saying, I think he'd be deadly at that. You know, just another.
I think he'd be a better Green Goblin, to be honest.
And that's Willem Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe, yeah, it was. He was brilliant for that. But
with no mask or anything like that, just fucking green paint on him or something. That's all he needs.
We'll move on to the next one. I suppose we'll go with the president because I think he is probably the second smallest character in it.
Okay.
Now, would he have been the biggest name? Donald Pleasance? Maybe behind Isaac Hayes, obviously from the music world, not so much of an acting.
No, I don't think. I think probably Pleasance, or maybe even Van Cleef.
He might have been the biggest name, but his character is quite minimal in this. You know, like he is the president, but you know, there's the scene of him getting launched out of the plane. Then you don't see him for a while, and then you see him for another little bit. Like he's not in the film as much as anybody else, I don't think.
Right.
So I'd say he's probably the second smallest. It won't really matter too much anyway.
I'd say I don't have much confidence in myself this week, so don't be worrying. So it's my go, yeah?
Yeah.
So my backup was Daniel Craig.
Yeah.
And I went a little bit older. I went for the president. I went Richard Dreyfuss.
Okay, Richard Dreyfuss could be a good one now. He's still going.
He is.
You haven't picked me another actor who's retired, have you?
I don't think so.
Well, let's just have it. No, he does. He has stuff upcoming, so you're safe at least on that. That's a good.
I think the last thing I seen him in was
Jaws.
Rewatched
No.
it again.
Piranha.
Oh, Piranha.
Poor
He
man's
was at the
Jaws.
start of Piranha, wasn't he? So I had a couple here. I had one backup. I had two backups. One was Vincent D'Onofrio.
Yeah, a favorite on the
Who
show.
I like.
A bit of a
He's
favorite.
not a favorite, but he's a good character actor.
No, he's been selected a few times. All right.
One I did have was someone who actually replaced Donald Pleasance in Halloween. I went with Malcolm McDowell.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Wasn't so much happy with that one for this role, but I went with Stanley Tucci here.
Stanley,
who you could see him playing the president of any country.
Yeah.
He's real clean cut and stuff.
But can be a dickhead as well. Like in the Terminal.
Oh, he's so good in the Terminal.
Isn't he? Brilliant in that.
Yeah, no, it's both decent shouts there. I only had one name down for this, and I actually used someone who played the president in a film previously. I used Bill Pullman.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And he's a bit older now as well, yeah.
Yeah, he's nearly 70 now, so like he'd fit in quite well as that role, you know. And great actor as well as being able to be kind of like cowardly, but then a bit insane when he gets up on top of the wall and he's shooting down at the dude on the car.
Yeah, that's a really good show.
Yeah, no, that's what I was really happy with when I was doing up my lists. Like I got that, and I was like, nope, I don't need any backups. He's sorted.
I think that would have took if I was the judge here. That would have took it.
Yeah, two solid choices there.
I think Graves is a bit old, isn't he?
Not necessarily.
I don't know. He's 75, which I would have said is maybe a bit old for a president, but
you can't be the president after 68.
In the United States, you can.
Can you?
Biden is in his 70s.
Biden must be about 80, chappy. He's real old.
Yeah, he's in his 70s, yeah.
So
I thought it was the same everywhere.
No, that's just here because we don't want people who are like that old being our president. Yeah, exactly. No, two solid picks there now, but I think I am going to go with Richard Dreyfuss there. I like Richard Dreyfuss there. I can't really give a great reason as to why I think him over Tucci, but I just really like the pick there.
Both good shouts. They are both good shouts.
Yeah, no, they're both very good shouts. I think I just prefer Dreyfuss from the stuff I've seen him in, which is mainly Jaws, to be fair. But I just rewatch it quite frequently. So
no, you can't not though. You know what I mean? He was great.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So I'll go with him, and that'll level it up. Next up, we'll go with Brain next, since he doesn't make it to the end.
I love the Brain. Brain was brilliant in this.
He is I actually found this one quite difficult to recast because of the character.
At all.
Well, who have you got?
I didn't at all. So my main pick was the first name I wrote down was the first person I recast for this. But I did actually manage to work a backup, and I got close to it. So the backup was Walter Goggins.
Yeah, Walter Goggins could be good there.
But I went for an old tried and trusted Sam Rockwell.
Yeah, Sam Rockwell could be good there. I do like Sam Rockwell.
One of the best character actors in the business.
Yeah, no, he'd be solid in there now, to be fair, yeah. King, who have you got?
I wasn't confident with this pick, but I went with, Danny McBride.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's who I was thinking. Eastbound and Down and Tropic Thunder and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. He's and then I'm just going to throw it out there. Did you watch Your Highness?
No, I didn't. I didn't watch that. But is that your pick or was that a backup, King?
No, that's my pick.
No, because you said you were thinking him, so I just wanted to make sure.
That's all I went with in the end.
Yeah, no, I don't like that. No, not just because it's against me, but I don't like that pick.
Yeah. No, as I said, I kind of struggled with this one because I was trying to think of the character is meant to be the Brain, so I was trying to think, who could be a good smart character, but he's still a bit like, bit crazy, a bit of a, bit of a wild card, and he, turns his back on all his friends, and he's obviously a bit of some sort of criminal because he's in
jail.
Yeah, he's in the big jail. And I settled on, I think, Greg, you've used him once before. I don't think he's been used on the show since. I felt David Schwimmer would fit into there quite well.
Oh yeah, I used him somewhere, and it was a perfect pick.
Yeah, I think he could fit in there now quite well. I think he'd do that,
Good show.
I'm smart, but I'm also a bit of an arsehole again. Like,
he just plays Ross.
Yeah,
I like that. Yeah,
he would just be a bit more of a jumped up Ross.
Do you know what? There was another one I was thinking. I was gonna put John Goodman in.
Oh yeah?
No, I don't like John Goodman there. Just
not there, no.
Oh no, sorry, not as the brain. Sorry.
Okay, because I was gonna say he does not fit in there.
Literally.
Yeah, no, he wouldn't.
Sorry, I'm mixed up here. I'm looking. I wrote it down in the wrong place.
No, Sam Rockwell will take that one. I don't like Danny McBride in there.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. I wasn't confident with that one, so that's fine.
I do like Danny McBride as in Talladega Nights, though.
I think Danny McBride would be better placed elsewhere in this film. I don't have him there, but I think he would actually be better placed elsewhere in this film.
Yeah.
Probably as the cabbie.
Yeah, that's where I think he'd be better placed. I don't think he'd be great as the cabbie, but I think he'd be better placed there than he would as the brain. So Sam Rockwell will take that one, putting the champ back in the lead, 2-1.
Stay on picks. That's all I need to do.
Yeah, that's all you have to do. Win your own, and you can lose the ones to King. Well, we've mentioned him, so we may as well go with him. We'll go with Cabby here next.
He'd probably be the next one anyway.
It's him or Maggie, I think, are kind of the next one or two.
Yeah. Back to me, isn't it?
Back to you, King. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't have an awful lot of backups in this episode, but I just said I went with John Goodman for this.
Oh, Greg gave it away a bit, did he?
Well, it's there if you look at the.
Yeah, no. I'm not saying that you're cheating. I'm just saying Greg kind of.
Sorry, that's I had it wrote down as the last minute backup on my page here.
Yeah, I can confirm King has it here. Yeah.
So, that's a good show. I do like John Goodman.
Yeah, it's a solid show. Greg.
So I have a couple of backups. John Goodman was one that I wrote down late. Louis Guzman, who's obviously Gomez Adams in Wednesday. He wasn't a very good Gomez Adams, but he plays that fast talking, funny guy pretty well.
Yeah.
And then I picked the ultimate fast talking, funny guy in Wayne Knight as another backup.
That's actually it's a backup I have as Wayne Knight.
But I went someone a little different here. I went with Steve Buscemi.
Ooh.
He's not accustomed to taking them small roles, and you can see him as a fast talking wise guy as the cabbie.
I can see him doing that role. I don't know if would he take something that's small.
He's slowing down now. He is.
Yeah, I suppose he is. And even in other films, he kind of like Con Air and stuff. He did take a kind of small role.
Con Air, Mr. Deeds.
Even Reservoir Dogs, he's a bit of a small character in that. Like as much as he's, integral.
I think he just likes doing that. Sometimes he just picks and chooses.
Yeah, I'll tell you who I had anyway before I pick. As I said, one of my backups was Wayne Knight, same as Greg. Dan Aykroyd was another one I had as a backup there. I think he could fit into there. Zach Galifianakis could kind of fit in there, but he's a bit too much of a bumbling idiot. That for Cabby, like I don't know if he has the quick talking to him. He's more because all of his roles, he's like. He has the kind of, lovable idiot, but he's a slow talker. He's like, he doesn't have that quick wit. But I actually went for someone I think I've used once before, but I think I might have used them as a backup. I didn't end up using them because I wasn't sure if the lads would know who it was. I went with Richard Kind here.
That sounds familiar.
Oh, yeah. It's a good show.
I think Richard Kind is
great in Scrubs.
He's very good in Scrubs. King, you would know him from Gotham. Oh, yeah. He is not the police chief, the mayor in Gotham.
He annoys me and things, but he's good.
Yeah, but that's kind of what Cabby's meant to do. Cabby's meant to be a bit annoying, just following everyone around. And he's kind of like, that happy. He's got that kind of happy looking face to him.
Yeah.
And then as Greg said, like the quick talking and the stuff like that. Don't really know. Steve Buscemi has thrown me because he does fit into that role quite well. But I think John Goodman would be brilliant there as well.
The only thing is, Goodman's starting to make a revival to his career. He's gone back into TV properly, where Buscemi's kind of slowing it down a little.
I still think he'd take the role.
Oh, I don't. I know if you throw money at anybody, and especially in a John Carpenter movie,
yes,
they're going to take it. But
what you're going to want is the strongest possible cast. That's what you want.
Buscemi over Goodman any day is a stronger cast.
Depending. I don't know. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely love Buscemi. You know what I mean? But
do either of these have a strong argument for or against, like for your own or against your opponents here is really what this is going to come down to, because I think those are actually Steve Buscemi. I wouldn't have ever thought of Steve Buscemi, but when his name's mentioned, I do think he could do that quite well.
The only thing I'd say is John Goodman's moved more into kind of more serious, taken away from the funny roles, where like you see 10 Cloverfield Lane and stuff. Like I know he has that aggressive nature as well, where you see it in the likes of Big Lebowski and stuff.
Yeah,
Cabby doesn't have that.
Yeah,
that'd be the only thing. It's a toss up really, but Buscemi's a better actor.
It's really up to you, Ted.
And he's probably a quicker talker and quick witter. Oh my god, I can't even speak now.
Quick witter.
Probably better with the quick wit.
Yeah, possibly. John Goodman is very good for that. Like, I know what you mean that he has started taking more serious roles, but I think he could sink back into that quite well.
I do as well. Yeah, absolutely.
I thought I was nailed on when I had a couple, and then Buscemi came to me, and I was like, yeah, try and use someone different.
I think I am going to go with John Goodman. I think he fits that role a little bit better. I think Buscemi I think Buscemi would do it very, very well if they gave it to him.
Mm-hmm.
But I think part of Cabby's charm is the kind of happy-go-lucky face.
And he does.
And that's just not Steve Buscemi. Steve Buscemi is not the happy-go-lucky face. You know what I mean?
Pervert.
Whereas
pervert.
John Goodman has even as Fred Flintstone and stuff, he had that big jolly head on him. Do you know what I mean? So I'll go with John Goodman there. But Buscemi has thrown me. That was actually a really, really strong pick that I wouldn't have thought of now myself.
Nice one.
So we level it back up 2-2. We'll go Maggie next. She's obviously, we'll leave Duke and Snake for the end. So Maggie next. Back to you, Greg.
Right. I wanted to be a bit smart here. I'm using someone that I haven't used. I don't think anyone's used before. I might be wrong with that, but I don't think anyone's used. But for my backups, I was trying to be a bit funny and clever here. I had Maggie Gyllenhaal, surely for the name.
Yeah. Okay.
I had Maggie Q because she won a Golden Globe last night.
Maggie again.
Yeah.
But I went a bit left field. She's a small bit older than Andrea Barbeau was. I went with Elijah Dushku here, who was obviously Faith in Buffy. She was in Wrong Turn.
Oh yeah, jeez, that is a good one.
Ghost Whisperer.
Buffy is going to be where I remember her most from. But yeah, no, that is a solid pick, and definitely haven't used her before.
Yeah, I couldn't remember. I thought Carl Sherlock might have, but then I was like, maybe he didn't.
No, I don't think he did. I think she is a little bit older, but she's not that much older either.
She's only 3 or 4 years older, I think. 5 years older than.
Yeah, something like that. It's.
She still does. She doesn't look it either.
No, yeah, it's a good pick. Definitely hasn't been used before, I don't think, but that's a really solid pick. King, who have you got?
Oh, hey, I see now I'm starting to venture out into modern actors and actresses now, which is great for me.
It took
me 20 episodes or whatever.
Something like that, yeah.
But I went with Melissa Barrera from Scream. You know,
the new one.
Yeah, she's 32, so I was thinking,
she's the older sister, Jenna Ortega's older sister.
Yeah.
It's okay. Yeah,
something different,
I think the only thing I know her from is Scream. I'm just looking her up here to see if I've seen her in anything else, and
she was good in Scream.
She was good in Scream. Yeah, she was very, very solid in Scream.
That's all I can say. I don't really know what else.
Yeah, same. But I still, have to fill up the places somehow.
Yeah, no, it's not a bad shout, to be fair.
I've seen Adrian Barbeau being taken in 3 or 4 different Carpenter films. So I went with someone that I've seen happen in a couple of different episodes of Buffy. Obviously in Wrong Turn she gets taken as well.
Yeah.
And stuff. So I've seen that kind of role, and she has that badass streak too.
Yeah, I had 2 here, kind of. One is like my backup and then my main. So the backup I had how do you pronounce Morena Baccarin, who is the female lead in Deadpool.
The girlfriend.
I think she's very good, and she's got that bit of a fighting personality to her as well. I think she'd fit in there very well.
She's a good girl.
I think she's possibly too big a name now for that role.
I wouldn't have said so. Adrian Barbeau was huge at the time. She came off The Fog and everything.
She was a big name, but maybe I just have Morena.
I'm pretty sure she was married or in a relationship with John Carpenter. I'm sure we'll get a message off Ian and he'll tell us.
Yeah,
it very, very much could be. But I just went with someone maybe a little bit smaller and closer in age is kind of what I went for here, just because I wanted to kind of keep it closer to the original age. I went with someone I've used before, Dominique McGilliat, who is in The Boys. She's Queen Maeve. She has a bit more of a fighter than Morena is, even in
Deadpool. She takes that role when she's like vulnerable as well, quite well.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking. She'd be fairly solid in there. This is another tough one. Think I'm gonna go with Elijah Dushku because she just has that bigger name.
Yeah.
Melissa Barrera could be very good.
I have
depending on how far it goes here, but I think even in the next Scream, I think she might not be the main. I think Jenna Ortega is going to take the reins of Scream.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Literally, after the emergence of her in the last year and a half, I'd imagine if the story was for her to die, it'll now be the sister dies. I don't see both of them getting out of this next one, unless I'm calling it now. Unless both of them are killers in the next one, I don't see both of them getting out.
Which could be very interesting because obviously one of them's the daughter of a previous killer.
Or not
Stu.
Yeah, no, not Stu. The other boyfriend. His name I can't remember now.
I can't remember.
Ted, you should know this. It's your franchise.
I know. Yeah, I'm leaving you to work it out.
Mm-hmm.
You had
Randy was the one that loved horror.
After you kicked our asses in the
Billy Loomis.
He looked it up.
I did, yeah. I didn't know it.
That's not fair. He cheated.
There's no points on offer, so it's okay.
It is Billy Loomis, but I was hoping I was leaving Greg because he beat us so badly the first time. No, but that one goes to Greg as well. So puts us to
3-2.
3-2. So
hello, Alicia.
Back to you, King. And obviously it's gonna have to be the Duke here because Snake is the hero, so he's going to go last. So,
okie dokie.
As we said, not a particularly famous actor at the time in Isaac Hayes.
He was a big singer, though. He's a big name around.
A big name, but just not a big acting name.
It was a strange cast in this. Obviously, I know we weren't born, but King was.
Sure. He was about 50 then, was he?
I hate it so well.
It was a strange one, but like he went on to be a half decent actor, and obviously he voiced Chef, which is probably his most famous role.
Yeah.
Look, he's not a bad actor for a singer, really.
I suppose for the time that he was acting, he would have been. I think he would have been in a lot of those kind of, what would you call them, like the soul films, like.
Yeah. It was a strange
one. He was in Shaft, wasn't he?
Yeah.
It was a strange one because he was picked as the main antagonist.
Yeah.
Which was kind of the strange thing, but he hadn't really done a whole lot before this, so he was a strange one to bring in, but he worked very well as the Duke, I think that's kind of down to his like, you know, he was willing to be that like flamboyant character, you know, like the big chandeliers on the car and everything. Like, you know what I mean?
Gas, isn't it?
You need to have a bit of a flamboyant personality to pull that off. Like, you know, Sam Jackson steps out of a car with chandeliers on it. You're going, no, that's not happening. You know what I mean? He doesn't have that aura about him.
Right. So, I think you could have this one, Greg, but we'll see. I remember the guy you normally have gone to before. He is, you know, could he do that kind of flamboyant thing? I'm not sure, but I went for him anyway. And I went with the thing like you were talking about with the Maggie thing, with the name. I went with Winston Duke.
I don't know if he could do the flamboyant thing, but he's a solid actor. I don't know if I'd buy him as flamboyant, but
I know
he's a big unit.
I know, and when I put it in, I was like, fuck, you know, and I didn't have any backups at that stage, so.
I do like Winston Duke. He's very good. He was very good as M'Baku in Black Panther.
Yeah, and he's got the bit of the comedy. He's got the comedy chops to him as well. So, like, even in the Black Panther, you can see the kind of comedy that he brings to it as well. So no, that's not a bad one.
I had three backups here. Winston Duke was one.
Okay.
Jamie Foxx was another one. You could see him being kind of a militia leader. Well, obviously they're not their militia, but they're essentially the prison gang.
Yeah.
Gang leader.
You could see him being the leader of that. Mike Coulter, another one.
Yeah, Mike Coulter from I've used him before sometimes.
Luke Cage.
Luke Cage.
But I went different. I went with big man who could be from Blind because he can do anything. I went with Idris Elba here.
Yeah, okay.
Idris Elba can do whatever the fuck he wants.
He can, acting wise. I don't know if I buy Idris Elba as like very flamboyant though either. I had a couple of backups here. One I had was Craig Robinson, not as physically, you know, muscular.
I like Craig Robinson,
but Craig Robinson had fit into that quite well. You know, like the kind of, but you need to be a little bit more serious as well. But you can see Craig Robinson when he needs to put on the serious thing, like even in The Office and stuff, when he has
so good.
When he has to be a bit more serious, he can be intimidating when he wants to be. But I went for someone who's not really an actor here. Just because because I wanted somebody who fit into that, and it was actually while I was rewatching it, and he had the cowboy hat on stuff on.
Dennis Rodman.
No, and I was looking at him, and I was like, "Do you know who this just reminds me of?" And Greg might not know who this is, but Jay Lethal.
Oh yeah.
I think when Jay Lethal is playing, you know, the Macho Man, and he has all the stuff on him. Like I could see him fitting into that really well, and the flamboyant bit of it is right him down to a T.
That is a great show.
He's, you know, again, not a big name in acting. He's a wrestler, Greg. He was never in WWE, but
Greg, there's a problem with Ted. You know, the one that he does with Ric Flair. He does an amazing impression of Ric Flair, and the two of them are wooing off each other. Yeah. It's brilliant.
But he does.
I'll have a look. I haven't a clue who he is.
He dresses up as Macho Man and stuff and he's really flamboyant in that sense, you know. So I think I had Craig Robinson until I thought of him, and then I was like, yeah, I think he's the one to go with. Yeah,
that's actually one of the best picks I think I've heard in the show in recent while.
I actually did think of Craig Robinson. I was like, he's just not serious enough.
He's not.
Was the only thing.
He's not, but when he does need to be serious.
Oh, he can do, yeah.
He can, he can be an intimidating guy as well.
The only thing is, the Duke in this was serious all the time, bar a couple of tiny moments where Robinson would be the other way.
Yeah, but
Winston Duke could work well there, you know. Being serious all the time.
I think almost as good as Idris Elba would.
The thing is that because he can be that serious bit, you know, he can do the serious thing, he'd be able to keep that going. Do you know what I mean? Like if you can do it, you can do it. Neither of them are like overly flamboyant, which maybe is just something I'm getting caught up too much on. Maybe those chandeliers have just caught me up too much on the flamboyancy
Too
of the
flashy
character.
for you in your eyes.
Yeah, they're just, you have to be a certain kind of guy to be rocking chandeliers on your car.
Generally picture Idris Elba getting out of that car quicker than you would Winston Duke. With the big jacket and all on, like the militia leader. Absolutely.
I think I am going to go Idris just because of the name value. I think even though Winston Duke is he's a building name, and
he's going to be a superstar too.
Yeah, just based on some of the other picks we've had, they've been kind of smaller names and stuff. I think if this was being made today, they'd want their two main people to be big names.
Yeah.
But no, they're two solid choices there, and it's more just I don't know if I buy him. I don't know if I buy Winston Duke as the main antagonist just yet. Now that being said, most of what I've seen him in is Black Panther, where he is never the main antagonist. So
he was very good in Spencer Confidential. Remember when the last time we were picked, I couldn't think of the name of the movie done with Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, now see when
Spencer Confidential.
When he steps up, or if I start watching other films where he's a bit more in the foreground, that could end up actually swaying me. But since I haven't seen them yet, I'll go with Idris there.
Le Champion continues.
It keeps Greg going, but it looks like a bit of a pacing in 4-2 so far, and we still have Snake to go. But 2 or 3 of these have been really close. Yeah, some of them have been very close calls. So
this is one of them games like where you see a game of football where one team's 2-1 up and all of a sudden it finishes 3-1 because they're going
back and forth.
Yeah, exactly.
He threw to the bleachers here. He put me right through it.
Yeah, he did. So we'll go with Snake anyway. We'll go back to you, Greg, to round it out. Who have you got as your Snake?
This is a tough one. Well, it's not actually a tough one, really.
Not really.
I had a couple of backups. I had Scott Eastwood, and I had Charlie Hunnam. But I think Hunnam's closer to doing it than Eastwood is. But
yeah, definitely closer than Eastwood.
But easy pick, Wyatt Russell. Has the look, has the style. Obviously going off the name as well. That was a bit of a twist. But watching him in Falcon. Is it Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
Falcon and the Winter Soldier, yeah.
Where he played Captain America or Johnny America, whatever his name was.
Yeah, the fake Captain America.
US agent or whatever.
He has that fucking arsehole look. And you can picture him with the eye patch, and he has the hair and the build.
We went with as well, Ted. So
yeah, I'm just double checking. Yeah, both of you have him there. So so it does level it out at 5-3 in the end. I actually went just a little bit different. I went with Sebastian Stan.
He was the other choice, really, wasn't he?
I went on Sebastian Stan just based on name value. Wyatt Russell just isn't the name value that someone like Sebastian Stan is at the moment. But they can both play that role of being, yes, they're the hero, but they're also an absolute arsehole to absolutely everybody they meet. Even when Snake meets Hawk before he goes in, and he keeps calling them by his proper name, he goes, "It's Snake," and just keeps correcting him. "It's Snake. It's Snake." And then at the end, he calls him Snake, and he's like, "No."
He's a dick.
He's brilliant at that. It's just
as we've said numerous times. Sebastian Stan's literally just waiting for that one breakout franchise, really, isn't he?
Mm.
Yeah, he is.
I wouldn't like to see anyone take this franchise because as good as the first one is, the second one might be one of the worst sequels ever made.
Yeah, it's not really a film that lends itself to that because the concept is more,
one and done.
Yeah, it is. It's a one and done concept.
Absolutely.
And I'm glad that they didn't try and do another one again after. I know LA bombed out, but I'm glad they didn't try to do
There is talks now that this movie is going to be remade with Carpenter in the background.
I'd be happy to have it remade. Don't get me wrong, because I do think that as good as it is, I think it could. I think this is one of those films where the budget wasn't great on it, and it's not such a you know, it's not like Terminator or anything like that where it's such a time-stamped classic
Yeah.
that it could, you know, you could take the remake, literally remake it exactly as it is, and if the
With a bit more
casting,
money behind it, yeah.
if the casting's right, then then maybe try and continue on from there. Don't necessarily make Escape from LA, but continue to use the character Snake, and it could be a big franchise for somebody. Do you know what I mean?
I was always surprised that this was never made into like a series because there was so much they could have done with it.
Yeah, exactly.
The expanded universe would have been cool, actually. Yeah.
Again, though, they bombed out on the second one, and they just knew then they were like, right, there's no point in doing a third because people just are gonna have given up on the series anyway.
Carpenter was smart to get out of it.
Oh, he knew. He was always smart about stuff like that.
Yeah.
He knew when to cut his losses.
He knows when to hold them and knows when to fold them.
Exactly.
Good Kenny Rogers.
Yeah, good old Kenny Rogers. That keeps us with Greg continuing on forward, and fortunately, King, that'll put you back in the judge's seat next week. But what have you got for me and Greg?
I am going to go with. I was thinking about this one, a film that I wanted a reason to watch for. No, it didn't actually. Might give you one though, considering that you're on the line. The Untouchables. Take that one and run with that one.
Greg likes these type of films, though. He does like these kind of films. He had a
if
good
any
run
kind
of
of
these.
if any of these kind of films, I know I had a good run on them, but this is definitely a Sherlock film.
Oh yeah, but you know he had his losing streak going at the time, so.
No, this how do you recast Sean Connery?
Give it a go, see what happens.
Can we just recast Sean Connery in there?
How about the ghost of Sean Connery?
Ghost?
Yeah, you know, CGI
see what they did in Ghostbusters.
Yeah, just do that.
You can do it.
Yeah, just do that again. It'll be fantastic.
Kevin Costner was brilliant in this.
Wouldn't make sense though when he's getting shot to bits, like, you know, just like what?
De Niro.
That's another
Costner.
Stacked cast again here. These kind of films always tend to have a kind of stacked up cast, don't they?
Yeah, this won an Oscar as well, didn't it?
I think it did. Yeah.
Possibly. That'd definitely be something Sherlock could tell you off the top of his head. He has them all like memorized.
Who won the Oscar? 1951.
Yeah. But no, that'll be a good one to recast. So until next week, don't forget to like, share, follow, all that good stuff. Let us know if you agree with our picks or if you think some of them should have gone the other way, because some of them were very, very close ones. And don't forget to check out the boys over on the Slab, and same deal. Like, share, comment, all that good stuff on theirs. And until next week, look.
Peace.